Music! I love doing that. It's so cool. Hey, I'm Michael Edward, creator of How to Crush Your Mental Blocks, which is a course that teaches you how to identify and remove the mental blocks that's keeping you stuck, stopping you from reaching your level of success. Hey, my friend, I am Michael Edward. This is week 53. It's been a year. This is first video, Michael Edward Show, first episode in year 2. That's great. If you are just joining me, you only have 52 other shows to watch, so don't worry about it. Have fun. All right, this week we are talking about pointing the finger of blame. All right, and it's so easy to do. We've all done it. The idea here is to stop doing it. All right, is to break that habit. If you feel like you're not responsible for things in your life, right? You're pointing the finger of blame all around you. If you feel like you're not in control, meaning that this is where I am in life, I had no way of changing it, I am not in any kind of form of control here, you're pointing the finger of blame because it's so easy to do. And in some families, it's rampant because we learn it, right? You know that. We learn a lot of stuff from the people around us. And when you decide that pointing the finger of blame is not getting you where you want to be, because those thoughts will hold you, because you never have to do anything. You never have to learn anything. You never have to try something new, because it doesn't matter. It's his fault. Well, it's her fault, you know? So you need to take responsibility. And when you start to take responsibility, my friend, that is when things will change for you. I was talking to a client last night, and somebody in her life was really bad for this. This person who was negatively impacting her was pointing the finger of blame all over the place. Lost his job because he got in an argument with somebody and it went way overboard. Way overboard. And his answer? He started it. You know, he's just pointing the finger of blame all around except at himself. And I had another client who was like this. I worked with them. And when he realized that, yes, I was placing the blame on everybody else. I mean, even government for overtaxing me so I didn't have enough money to whatever. All of this stuff. When he realized that, yes, he was placing the blame on everybody else, and when he realized that I can take responsibility, I can take responsibility and change the rest of my life, he made a huge step forward, and that was a real turning point in his life. So one of the things I want you to focus on is that you do have to start to take blame for everything in your life, all right? And as you take the blame and you realize that you do have a role to play, that's when you start to get the power. That's when you start to understand that, yes, I have some control here. I can make decisions. I can choose to do this or that or the other thing. And that's when you can say, I can take this blame and use it to make me strong. All right? So it's coming back to that power, that amazing power that comes with responsibility. And it's a really beneficial thing for you. I have 5 points that I want to cover on pointing the finger of blame. Number 1 is to not fall into depression. This is so huge. Sometimes what happens is we take too much responsibility for things that aren't even our fault, or we take responsibility in the wrong way. It's my fault I did it. It's my fault I did it. I'm no good because I did that. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't get depressed over this. What you're trying to do is understand that with blame comes the power to change. And when you take that blame and you turn it into a powerful response in order to build a new life, then you are going to make huge progress. So You need to leave out the guilt. You need to leave out the hard feelings, the sad feelings, the feelings that you messed up and it's all your fault. And although that may be true, that is not useful. So you need to turn it into a productive, good, healthy, strong feeling of, I did this, now I can change it. That's my power. That is what I'm all about here. So I hope that makes sense to you. Number 2 is, what changes do you need to make? So what changes do you need to make? This is where you're just sitting back and thinking, all right, if I don't have the body I want, what changes do I need to make to get that body? If I am struggling in starting a new business, is it that I have a fear of failure? All these types of things? Have I been told when I was young that I'm not good enough and I still feel like I'm not good enough? I have these emotional connections to negativity and they overwhelm me. Then the first thing you need to worry about is getting rid of that negative emotion. And you want to check out my Tap It Out program on that. Probably the best way to get to it right now is to get on my email list and send me an email and say, Michael, I need help, Tap It Out program. And I'll add you to the list of one-on-one clients. But nonetheless, it could be anything. It could be, what do you want to do and what changes do you need to make? So think about it at the higher level right now. What do you want to change in order to do the things that you want to do, to be the person that you want to be? And number 3 is a big one. This one is talking about challenge your beliefs. You are built on beliefs. Your beliefs come from social, comes from cultural, comes from religion, comes from all kinds of things in your life. But those are the main 3. Those are the biggies. And by social, I'm talking about your family, your friends, your relatives, your teachers. You learn various, what I call nonsensical rules, non-rules. All right? Nonsensical rule or non-rule is just devastating to a lot of people, because the rules that you grew up on could be ancient beliefs passed down and are no longer valid. Right? They could be harmful rules that you learned that really don't serve you today, and you need to change those. This is really heavy stuff. And I put in a link to a video for you that just talks about nonsensical rules because it's such a big subject. I don't want to cover it all here. But you do need to think about it. You need to think about, do I need to challenge my beliefs? So look in the description and you'll find the link to nonsensical rules. Number 4 is create a plan. In number 2, we talked about what do you need to change, right? And now that you know what you need to change, now you have to develop that plan in number 4. This is where we're getting down into the nitty-gritty. This is where we're getting into the action steps. This is where you are going to break out the calendar and say, all right, I've got this emotional baggage. I am going to contact Michael. As soon as this video is done, I'm going to join up his email list right away, and I'm going to book a session with him and get rid of this negativity that is keeping me awake at nights and making me feel sad and hurt and all that sort of stuff. This is the step where we're going to write down, where you're going to write down your action steps to, this is what I need to do to fulfill the things that I wrote down in number 2. You need to create the plan. If you do not have an action plan, you will not take the action. So simple. Action plan, action. And number 5 takes us to check your progress and regress. Yes, progress and regress. Now, if you don't have a method in place to check your progress, then you're probably not going to make a lot of progress, if any at all. When you do start to make progress, and I can tell you from when I had my fitness website, I would have clients that started making huge progress, man. They were feeling so much better, and then they just totally regressed to what they were. They were eating bad again. They weren't going to the gym again, and all that sort of stuff. They regressed. I learned that you have to be able to check your progress and your regress in order to see where you're slipping and get right back on track again. A couple ways of doing this. One is a journal. If you just keep a journal every day and you have your action steps laid out, and you know in your journal that tomorrow I have to do such and such, or this week I'm going to do such and such, and when you look back a week from then and you see that you didn't do such and such, you're regressing. Right? And it's easy to regress. It's human nature to regress as far as I'm concerned, because we like to slip into those old comfortable shoes. The familiar. We like to slip back to the familiar. And this is why you need to track your progress and regress, is so you don't slip back into the familiar. And when you do, you get right back on track again. The other point here, and I've got a video for this in the description as well, is triggers. And simply put, triggers is linking a physical action to a mental response. And you can use triggers for anything. You can use any physical action, from sitting down to a chair, to walking through a door, to brushing your teeth, anything at all. Anything at all. You can turn that into sort of a mental trigger to think about something, to do something, to change the way you feel, to change the way you're looking at stuff. Okay, so you want to watch that video. I think you're going to find that very, very useful. When you learn to point that finger of blame at yourself, you've taken a huge necessary step. When you can point that finger of blame at you and take responsibility for the things in your life the way they are right now, you now have the power to change them for the better, to the way you want to be. The rewards are worth it. It is phenomenal. Please learn to point that finger of blame at yourself and reach your highest level of success, so that you can live a life of happiness, joy, carefree, fun, and high productivity. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please like it, share it, click on that subscribe button, click on that bell icon to adjust your notifications so you'll never miss another video from me again. In the description, there's links including mepersonaldevelopment.com, where we help you reach your highest level of success.